Well, I, like many people, wanted the president to make the decision that was right for him and right for the country, which he did. And I've said before, it was a really selfless act of patriotism. I can't imagine the candidate on the other side giving up power under any circumstance. And President Biden did. And he immediately endorsed his vice president. And then Bill and I absolutely moved quickly to endorse Kamala as well. And we did it for a couple of reasons. One, I've known her for a number of years. I am a fan of hers. I think she has handled herself extremely well during the vice presidency, starting in COVID, under really difficult circumstances. And it's a tough job being vice president under any presidency, no matter what's happening in the country. And I had a lot of confidence in her sort of political touch and feel. I also thought it was better for the party and the country that we get behind President Biden's endorsement of her. People who talked about, let's have a contested convention, let's have some sort of contest in, 6 weeks, I think underestimated what chaos would have done to that presidential campaign and to the prospects for the Democrats. But in any event, she rose to the occasion. She's run a flawless campaign ever since she got into it. We talked to her literally right after the president decided to step aside. And I have been incredibly impressed and delighted to see the country meeting her, to see how people are responding to her, and to see the joy. When I was talking to Joe and Mika and just a minute ago, I mean, look, life is hard. Politics is really brutal. It's a contact sport. And to think that the other side in this campaign wants people to be afraid and filled with anger and hatred and trying to hurt other people is so terrible and so un-American. And now we have with, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, two happy warriors, two people who will fight for us, who will work for us, and don't want us to hate each other. They want us actually to find some common ground.
So what is your assessment of the stakes of this election? I mean, you are in a very exclusive club of people who've ever run for president, let alone run against Donald Trump. So to what extent do you offer counsel or do you speak with Kamala Harris about how to run against Donald Trump, who, as you've said, is a different candidate now, a darker candidate, arguably, than he was in 2016?
That's absolutely true, Willie. I've talked with Kamala a few times. I obviously talked with her before the debate because he is more incoherent. He is angrier. He is lashing out all the time at everybody. He's filled with grievance and rage. And, in my acceptance speech at the convention way back in 2016, I said, you can't trust somebody with nuclear weapons who you can bait with a tweet, because I saw that in him at the time. A lot of people didn't, or they gave him the benefit of the doubt, or they thought, hey, we've had 2 terms of a Democrat, let's try the Republicans, for whatever reason. I understand that. But now the stakes are even higher because he has a record. We have seen him try to abuse power. We have seen him try to overturn a legitimate, free, fair election. We have watched him bungle COVID and cause unnecessary deaths and pain. So he has a record. And in addition to that, he's told us what he's going to do. He is absolutely linked to this Project 2025 and all of their dark and dystopian efforts to turn the clock back on Americans' rights and the way we live and how we, look at our futures together. And he has a long rhetorical record now of making it very clear that he would be unaccountable if he were ever near the White House again.
Hi, this is Melissa with the PETA Foundation.